Welcome to the Grown Ass Dads Podcast. Boop boop a doopy doopy boo.
Really good.
And there it is.
And there it is.
That noise means you are listening to the Grown Ass Dads Podcast.
Bones, great to see you again.
Good to be seen.
I love you. J-Bone, how we doing back there?
Dude, I got zero to complain about. We're in our new set. We got merch available now. Things are
looking up.
Things are humming.
Everything-
I feel official-ish.
Wow.
I'm gonna get some artwork for
Is
this.
this real?
Get some artwork for this wall.
Are we looking for like Picasso or Monet? I mean, what are you
I'm
feeling?
more of a Jackson Pollock kind of guy.
Postmodern?
Is that an artist?
I'm just
it sounds right.
I'm just,
That sounds like
throwing
an
out
artist.
shit that I've heard. I don't know, Dick. I would really like to have dogs playing pool behind us.
I was
That's where I wanna be
just
at.
thinking about getting like lights and
Oh no, we're gonna
Digital
need.
bullshit.
No, we need. Well, it's officially blues season, so we need some blues
We could make that happen.
things.
probably.
How ween bag would it be if we put like a character picture of the three of us up behind us?
Wearing blues
We've
jerseys.
we've been doing that for the last
That's true.
8 episodes.
Yeah, we had it in the old studio.
I don't see why we shouldn't.
But we look really good in it too.
I do.
Let me set the stage a little bit.
Okay.
You are listening to the Grown Ass Dads Podcast. I'm Adam Bundren. This is Jay Hilsing. That's Jason Byrne.
Hello.
You're listening to a show. This is an official thing that we do.
Everyone knows who the fuck we are.
I know, but you're supposed to do the thing. You're supposed to
right,
say
all
this is the
right.
thing. You're doing the thing.
All right, we're doing the thing.
The algorithm says we're doing a thing.
Fine. Spoon feed the audience what's going on.
Here you go.
Jeez, algorithms.
Thank you. Tonight we are going to discuss money.
How much money?
All the money.
All of it?
I want all of it.
All right.
What the specifically
The specific. What?
the specificity.
It's not a word.
It's got to be a word.
Also known as specifically.
Specifically, how we are teaching our children to have a relationship with money, and kind of how we're educating them on what their relationship should be with money. Is that a fair
Yeah.
laying of the groundwork?
I think this is more so just the absolute absurdity of raising kids and the money aspect that they have no concept of it, and how do you teach them to have concept and value money? Because I'm willing to bet that my value of money is slightly different than yours and is slightly different than Jason's, and all we're trying to look for here is maybe a mild amount of responsibility. Maybe.
Yes, I think responsibility is good. And I did not have not any, zero discussions about money as a kid. None. Like I never heard, hey bud, this is how you create a budget, or this is what taxes are. I mean, nothing. We didn't talk about it.
Who the fuck is FICA?
So, but my situation's a little bit different. We did not have conversations. Like my parents, like not that I remember sitting me down. Eventually, we did, but I literally, as a kid, I can remember this on Jonathan, one of the streets I lived on originally. I would ride my bike down the street, and I would fill sandwich bags with acorns, and then sell them back to the same damn people that own the tree that those acorns came off of, because I knew that they would feel guilty that this kid came up to the door and was like, "Would you like to buy a bag of acorns?"
You little manipulative.
I was
son of
a shit, but I wanted money. Like, but I was also maybe like a 5-year-old entrepreneur. I don't know.
What'd you do with your money then? Did you save it? Did you spend it? Half and half? Where was your angle?
I didn't have anything to spend it on at that point, other than possibly riding my bike up to here in St. Louis, Ben Franklin, and buying penny candy.
Fuck yeah, doggy.
Yeah, I mean Ben Franklin was the shit, but I didn't have anything to spend money on. Like I was just interested in having money. That's all I cared about.
Yeah, I was a get a nickel, spend a dime.
Fair enough.
It burns holes in my pockets. I cannot be trusted with cash. I will see a stand that sells rotten grapes and be somewhat interested in how much I can spend on rotten grapes that day.
What can I use those for?
Wow. I am. I don't know that I would be classified as financially responsible because I lean in the world of bones and the fact of if I have 100, I'll spend 105. But I have always been able to make money. I grew up in the restaurant industry. I started working literally when I was 13, bussing tables, sweeping floors, washing dishes, and I have had a job since I was 13 years old.
Yeah, time out. I don't mean to cut you off. Can kids not work at 13 anymore?
No.
What do you mean no?
I
worked at 13. I stuffed sausage casings.
They can get. Is that a euphemism?
That's a real thing.
All right.
I've got a real answer for you.
Okay. I need to know because I tell Harry all the time, like, you need to get a job. He's like, I can't. I'm 13. I'm like, dude, I had a job where I received a check at 13.
So here's the situation. As I'm aware, because I'm an employer, so I've looked into this, and I've got kids who want to work. They've made special dispensations for agricultural scenarios. So they want to make it possible for kids to be able to work on their family farms and make money. Doesn't matter whether it's a farm or a family farm or not.
I was going to say, it's cute that's what you go to instead of child labor for agricultural industry.
Yeah, fair enough. but if you go out to the websites of the IRS and the Most State and all that's what it talks about. So at 14, you can start to work with the right permits, but you're very, very limited on what you're allowed to do. So you can't work on any kind of equipment that has potential injuries. You can't do this. You can't do that. My kids work at Chick-fil-A, and they've asked Carter, like, hey, you're going to be 14 come summer. You should come work for us. And Carter's like, absolutely, let's do that. And like, well, here's the job you can have. And it's more like sweeping the floors and putting trash away and things because he can't touch
anything.
The shake machine.
That's what you fucking do when you're 13 and 14.
I mean,
this is the pussification of our youth and the fact that this is not like a hazing situation. If you start at 14 years old at a job that 18, 19-year-old people are doing because that's all that you want to do, okay. But if you want to make money, you got to do what people want to pay you or can pay you for to make fucking money.
Right.
And it's absolutely 1,000%, and I'm not going down this road in a very deep hole, but it is one of the things that pisses me off the very, very, very most is I have multiple nephews and cousins that are teenagers, and when I'm doing work around my house and I need an extra pair of hands, I will call some of these kids, and they are 14 to 18 years old. And I go, hey, I'm doing this project in my yard, and I'm willing to pay you $20 an hour cash to come help me. And I can guarantee that I know what their answer is going to be because I know them well. Half of them go, I'm there, tell me when. Yeah, in. The other half go, well, what am I going to be doing?
Working for money.
Literally whatever the fuck I ask you to do. Well, I mean, like, am I digging? Like, am I using a shovel? Am I carrying stuff? Because that's either beneath them or it's too hard or they don't want to sweat. And it's one of the things that absolutely drives me fucking crazy because when I started working, and back in my day, I was working at 13 for $4.25 an hour, with my dad taking taxes out of it, in which I was now making like $3 an hour, busting my dick in a professional setting. And I'm offering the kids that are 4 years older than that $20 an hour cash to just do some labor, and they can't.
Too hard.
It's too hard.
But seriously, next time you do that, give me a call. I might for
Fuck yeah.
$20 an hour.
I and this was what sparked this conversation, and why we're on this is I have 2 kids, 13 and 10. They are drastically different with their view of money. My 13-year-old has no real concept. What his Christmas list is this year might be $5,000 of shit. My 10-year-old, I will take for his birthday to go to a store and go, dude, you can have anything that you want in here. Let's go pick it out. And he will go through and find something he likes, look at the price tag, and then go, no, Dad, this is too expensive, and put it back, without even telling me what the price tag is. In that same world, he is much more equipped. He's my worker. If I'm doing work on the house, outside of the house, cutting grass, digging a hole, whatever it is, he is in my hip pocket. What can I do? I want to do this. I want to do this.
Does he expect to get paid for it?
Not even once. My 13-year-old, if I reference potential work to be done around the house, he's a fart in the wind. I mean, it is as if he is a world champion hide and seeker, because he is gone. But he expects me to pay for anything that he wants, and so he actually learned a tough lesson. His birthday is in July. In May, he said, "Hey, Dad, I want this for my birthday." I go, "Okay." He goes, "Well, I want you to buy it for me right now, and then that'll be my birthday present." I go, "Nah, dude, I don't know if it's going to work like that." I said, "Here's what we'll do. I'll split it with you." And what he wanted was $300. I said, "I'll split it with you. I'll pay $150, you pay $150. He goes, "I don't have $150. I go, "Cool. What we'll do is we'll do some out of the norm chores and things that I wouldn't normally ask you to do. I'll give you $15 an hour to do this stuff. And I'm either going to pay somebody to do it anyway, or you can work with me, what have you." And I go, "Keep track of it right here. You got to do 10 hours.
Nope.
You got to do 10 hours, and then you're going to get what you want." And so he did 5 hours, and then was like, "Dad, I really, really need this for this reason."
I'm impressed you got 5 hours out of it.
Yeah.
And I go, "Okay." I go, "I'll tell you what." So he heard this from somewhere or whatever. He goes, "Will you loan it to me? Will you loan me?
What's the juice on it?
The next 5 hours?" And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Okay, no big deal." I go, "I will do that." I go, "But you have 2 weeks to do the next 5 hours. After those 2 weeks, every week after that, I'm going to add another hour you have to do." And so
And
now,
you guys are at 47 hours of owed work.
we legitimately, so it was like the second week of May that happened. We go through the rest of the month of May. He does 0 hours. Now we're June 1st. I'd say, "Hey, dude, I'm adding an hour to what you're doing." He was like, "What? Why?" I'm like, we talked about this. This is how shit works." And he was like, "All right, fine. I'll do this." And had a list of things he could do, and I wasn't going to remind him. I'm like, "Hey, here's your list. You knock these things off the list, and you write it down, and we'll do the deal." 0.0 work got done. Now his birthday is July 25th. So now he is 7 weeks into his juice. So his 5 hours is now turned into 12. And he
Maybe you guys have addressed this already, but what's the end game? Like, I mean, what? He could just let this ride forever.
He could let it ride forever, except for now it's birthday week, and he was like, "Dad, here's what I want for my birthday." And I went, "Sorry, bro." And he goes, what do you mean? I go, the call is in. I go,
I'm making the call.
So I go, you can either A, do 12 hours of work this week, or B, you get 0 birthday present. And he was like, that's not fair. I go, but I don't know how I could be more fair on this. Like, this is what it is. And so he goes, fine, I'll do the work. 0.0 hours of work, 0 birthday present. And you would have thought that my sister and my mom, that I just lopped off his leg. They're like, you really didn't get him a birthday present? I go, I did not get him a birthday present. And they were like, what are you trying to achieve here? And I go, I'm trying to achieve some sort of responsibility in the fact that he asked me for multiple things. I agreed to multiple things, paid for something that he wanted up front, gave him every opportunity to do very easy. We're not talking about digging a ditch to China here.
Right.
We're talking about picking up dog poo in the backyard. We're talking about sweeping out the garage. We're talking about
Ditch to China would be really interesting.
vacuuming the
tough.
house. We're not, I mean, very, very simple task for a 13-year-old to do. So, anyway, he got 0 birthday present, and I wiped his slate clean. And so now it takes us to 2 weeks ago.
Hold on. So, for no birthday present, that wiped all of the stuff clean?
I killed his debt. That was his birthday present.
know.
Killed his debt. So now,
I kind of like.
2 weeks ago, he wants a new hockey stick. I don't know if anybody out there knows what hockey sticks cost.
They're not cheap.
$380 is the new latest and greatest hockey stick.
Carter never got a hockey stick worth more than $75.
Fair. Joe typically gets hockey sticks that are last year's model. And so you call it $280 to $350, $380 stick. Following year, whatever's left over, those sticks end up being $150. Those are the normal sticks that he gets. So he goes, Dad, I want the newest, latest, and greatest stick. I go, all right, dude. How are you going to do it? He goes, well, the season starts next week. I want you to go buy it.
I just did it. I just did what I was going to do. I asked you for a stick.
Well, I go, this is a problem. I go, what are you willing to put into that? And he was like, well, buy it for me for Christmas. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. And so we went through the deal, and he goes, all right, we'll do the same deal. Buy it for me now. Tell me how many hours I got to work. I go, nope. You ruined your line of credit. You didn't come through, and the bank's not going to pay for it this time. So you defaulted on a loan once. You don't get the second shot. And he's all bent out of shape because, Dad, why aren't you buying this for me? I don't understand. Everybody else's dad buys him a hockey stick every year.
Except for Carter's dad.
I agree, bro. I agree, and I have bought you a hockey stick every single year, except you want a hockey stick that's 3 times what we normally spend, so you got to have some fucking stake in the game here. And he is oblivious to it, and so I sat up one night like, what the fuck did I do here? Like, how has this gotten so far off the rails? That this is what this is. And he's 13, so he's not totally grasping what's going on, but I need to do something different to express to him the value of money and what it takes to make enough money to get what you want.
Yeah. Adam, situation different for you?
Yeah, for sure, it's a little different. I mean, we've done a lot of different things to try to create an understanding of finances and financial responsibility. I think the first thing that we had to do in order to share or teach some financial responsibility was to get financially responsible.
Okay.
So I did a pretty good job of digging a hole, over a certain amount of time that we then needed to dig out of. And creating a system to dig us out of that hole and being unapologetic about that system, I think was huge because it gave us some context to be able to then kind of, share with the boys. And really, Harry, my oldest for sure, I think is the one that probably is going to need to have that conversation sooner than my youngest. But Harry, neither boy wants for anything.
Sure.
Our kids are spoiled. They're spoiled rotten. Relatively speaking, from where how I grew up, my brothers and I grew up. However, I don't want them to be unable to grasp this idea of financial health or wealth, whatever you want to call it. So we talk about money a lot in the house, whether it's how much something costs or how much we make, or we talk. It's funny, like he'll be like, "Dad, do I need insurance? Like, what's insurance all about?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, let's talk about insurance for a little while." So we do talk about those things. I don't think that either one of them grasp the idea or the concept of money just yet. However, they're both cash heavy. They've birthdays,
hell yeah.
First communion, all that stuff. From the time that they were born until now, their coffers are overflowing.
They are our first ATM.
It is amazing, and it's funny because they both have different, coffee cans or whatever, holding vats of cash in their rooms. And
what's your address again?
Right. I have lots of guns. Every once in a while they'll pull it out and they'll count it, and I'm like, dude, this dude's got like $2,200 worth of cash in his room. Mm-hmm. Like, let me just grab a little 50 spot. But it's really important to kind of share with them, in my mind, like how we were able to get out of the hole that we were in. So, I've had the conversation with my oldest of like, hey, we have 3 different buckets and our money goes into this bucket, and then we pull some out for bills, and then we put some over here for taxes. I'm a self-employed person, so, my self-employment tax and my quarterlies are a little bit different, than someone that's a W-2 employee. So educating them on that is super important to me. However, I still think that they just are like fully aware that they're on the gravy train.
Sure.
Sarah and I were walking tonight. We were walking the dog, talking about, hey, on the show we're going to talk about financial responsibility and talking to our kids. And she just kind of chuckled, and she's like, "What are you going to say?" And I'm like, "Are you going to lie?" And I was like, "No." And she's like,
"We really effed that one."
Yeah. She's like, "They don't spend their money; they spend our money." And I'm like, "Right." But the funny thing is as my oldest has gotten older, he's become way more aware in windows, not like holistically, but like in windows of like kind of like your youngest, like, "Oh, Dad, we don't need to do that. Like, that's too much," or I don't really need that thing. But then they'll be like, "Well, so and so joined PlayStation Club and it's $23 a month, Dad. What do you think about that?" And I'm like, "What do you think about that? Like, why don't you pick something up around here or throw your dirty socks down or something?" But I honestly think that it's a bigger, in my household anyways, it is a bigger conversation than money. It is, I want them to be able to do their laundry. I want them to be able to make their own meals. I want them to be able to do the dishes. I want them to be able to pick up dog shit without just mashing it into the yard. Like, the small asks that we have are so laborious to them that you would think that we're asking them to like do quantum math. Yeah. And it's like, dude, just pick up the dog shit and pick it all up. Just pick up the poop. It's not that difficult. I'm not asking you to go out there and try to figure out how to grow grass. Just pick up the shit. And it is that drives me insane, because the money thing they'll figure out. Money's difficult in general, and there's so many nuances to it, taxes and checking and savings and interest and compound interest and all this different stuff. They're going to figure it out, because I think, like, I'm an entrepreneur who talks about money a lot. And Sarah has basically managed our household for forever. And so from a bill, standpoint, she is very educated on like how to manage a household. And so I think they're going to be just fine when it comes to that. My fear is like, they're going to turn 18 and be like, which one's hot water and which one's cold? Food goes here. Like that's where I'm nervous. Like,
right,
the money thing I don't really care about, because and to be totally honest, we are so blessed that we've worked really hard to put ourselves in a position where we can have kids that don't want for anything. But at the end of the day, it's like that can all go away like that, and I'll just go find a different hustle and just go do something else.
Hot topic in my family, because we have 4 siblings. What is your take on an allowance?
They don't get it. My kids don't get an allowance because they don't do shit.
Okay.
Respectfully.
All
like,
right.
I wish I would, and I mean like a regular allowance where you get $12 for doing the dishes or whatever it is. They don't do those things. Now, if I ask them, if I say, hey, take out the trash, they'll take out the trash. If I say do the dishes, they'll do the dishes. But there's no regularity to that. I'm not paying a salary for me to have to put in a service desk ticket for you to take the trash out.
Same here. Like, we don't have chores. We don't have a regular routine, so therefore there is no allowance.
Right.
However, we also don't have guardrails on what we spend and what we don't spend on. So
Right.
they pretty much get whatever the hell they want, regardless of whether they're doing things or
Would
not.
you give them an allowance if they did that stuff consistently?
100,000%, because it would be money so well spent. And here's the thing. So it's funny, because sometimes I'll go to my oldest and I'll say, dude, you got to get a job, man. Like, you got to go knock on doors and weed eat somebody's yard, sell acorns to the poor lady that's got a pin oak. Like, you got to do something. And he's like, I'm 13, man, I don't need a job. And I was like, well, then you need to do some stuff around here and I'll pay you. He's like, but that's your money. You're just going to pay me with your money? And I'm like, what do you think we're doing now?
Yeah.
I don't know if I told this on the show, and if I did, sorry, guys, but it's funny. So we went to the minifig store for Gus's birthday.
Minifigures.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like a Lego store. It's called the minifig store.
Yeah.
So we go there and we're walking around, and at that, when we went there, Harry, the Apple Pay or Apple Wallet or whatever was new to him.
Yeah.
And he had just gone to Six Flags, I think, with Carter, and like I had loaded him up some cash on there, like so he could get a soda or a whatever turkey leg. And we're at the minifig store, and he wants to get a Steamboat Willie Lego minifig thing. It's like $30.
Steamboat Willie, no
Yeah,
shit.
which I thought was pretty dope. That's what he wanted to get.
That's pretty cool.
Right. So he wants to get it, and it's like $30, and he's like, Dad, he's like, I'm going to pay for it with my money. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So I go over and I'm talking to Sarah, and I'm like, Harry just came up and he wants to buy that himself. And she's like, hey, dummy, who do you think loaded up the Apple Wallet? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
She's like, I mean, I get the sentiment was good, but it was the same thing.
It's my money, Dad.
Now, here's something that we did. I'm curious if either of you guys have done. It's been a few years. I think Harry wanted a Wii U or a Switch or something. And so we made this board, this cash board. And anytime he would do something, he would tell us or validate it with us. We'd put a sticker on there. At the end of that week, we would pay. Like, okay, so walking your clothes to the laundry room was like 50 cents. Doing the dishes was $1. The cool thing was we made it super expensive to like write someone a letter. And at the time, my mom was still alive. She was sick. And so he would write letters to my mom, or he would write letters to Sarah's mom.
I think that's freaking brilliant.
It was so cool because and it was like $2.50 to write a letter.
Yeah.
And so he would do
Worth way more than
oh
that.
my goodness, I couldn't even imagine their experience of getting a letter from their grandson, right? Especially like with my mom going through what she was going through at the time was probably awesome.
Sure.
And it took months for him to save up this money to buy, I think it was to buy a Switch. I would do that a million times over. I would figure out what the best way of learning soft skills, like maybe be like call your grandma on the phone or something like that.
I think it's brilliant.
Like he's 13, so the concept of him wanting money for a car is not that far away.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to buy a car. So I mean, I'm gonna have to, but
Just really quickly, Mom, I know you're listening. When the boys start calling you more often, it's not because I'm paying them. It's because they
Yes, it is, Donna.
They want to talk to you.
Right.
That's
Yes,
right.
it is.
All right, so here's the deal. You are
I think it's called a chore chart. Have you guys ever done something like that?
you're 50% right and you're 50% wrong.
Every time.
So
Every time.
I'm just going to lay it out there for you.
'Cause he's got all the answers.
I do. I have all the opinions, and I'm right, and you're wrong. But I'm willing to listen to you, but you'll still be wrong.
Thank you.
So I love the idea of writing a letter to somebody, those soft skills, the outside of the norm situation, and conditioning them to, reach out and tell people how they feel situation. I am adamantly opposed to an allowance for
Adamantly.
To an allowance for normal chores around the house that make the house go. You're part of the family. You want for nothing. I take you where you need to go. I pay for 100% of everything that you would need. If I am going to ask you to unload the dishwasher or take out the trash or put your fucking clothes in the hamper, I'm not going to pay you for that. I am very open to paying for other things that are a little bit outside of that norm of the house running in a normal scenario. If you want to make me dinner, I'll pay you for that because I'm going to pay to go out to dinner anyway. I'm not going to pay you to do the dishes of the plates, forks, knives, and glasses that you just used for the dinner that I shopped for, paid for, made, and am feeding you whatever the fuck you want. And so I feel like you as a contributing member of the family need to have some sort of stake in the game, some sort of responsibility that is just you keeping track of your own shit for just you. And so it's believe me, it's a losing fucking battle. But that's where I come down on the situation. I want them to want to make money, and I want to give them opportunity to go above and beyond. But getting paid for just the bare minimum, I'm not on board with.
I would love to get to the place where there's an allowance. I honestly, and we've talked about it. We've never really put it in place, but I would love to be like, all right, it's Tuesday. You're on dishes today, and it's Thursday. Yeah. You're on dog poop, and I think I've even written out a chore chart before.
I don't even pick up dog poop.
You know what I mean?
Like every 2 or 3 months.
Different. That's a different issue. But I would love to get to the point to where it's like, yeah, dude, like here's your $20. Like I remember I got an allowance when I did my stuff. And as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, like I needed money for cigarettes. So my $20 on Fridays was great. Like,
You fucking degenerate.
I needed to buy some cool natural lights from Everhart's Pharmacy or Hampton House.
Sure.
Like, I needed to go out and do what I wanted to do, and that was how I did it. Was I would work, do whatever I had to do during the week, and I'd get $10 or $5 or $20 or whatever it was, and then I could go do what I needed to do. So yeah, I think there's some health to that. At the same time, this is where I kind of fall into. I probably contribute to the pussification or whatever you called it, but like.
I don't think it's in the dictionary.
It may be. I want my kids to be kids for as long as they possibly can be.
Sure.
For every ounce that they can be innocent or semi-innocent children, I want them to be that. And so I will pander to that notion as long as I possibly can. And if it's me spoiling the shit out of them while trying to inject lessons into their brains, along the way, I'm going to do it. Whether it's you want to jump in bed with me because you can't sleep, do it. You want to, it doesn't matter what it is. Be a kid. Yeah. And you don't need to have responsibilities at 9 years old and 13 years old. You can just be a kid because at some point, you're not gonna have a choice,
but be rewarded for what you do.
Yeah, and I mean, to be totally frank, all three of us, I would judge as being good fathers and leading our children on the right path. So I don't think that there's one way to do it, or any one of us are better or worse than the others. I am just a proponent, and part of it is because I had large portions of my childhood robbed from me, and I don't want that for my kids. I want my kids to be kids until, I don't care if they're 17 years old and they wake up and be like, oh fuck, I'm kind of an adult. Okay, let's figure it out now. But I don't want them to think that they need to be something now that they're not.
All right, so I'm gonna bust up my 13-year-old, and then I'm gonna brag on him a little bit. My 13-year-old will do the very bare minimum that he thinks he can get away with to earn some sort of dollars. So, I don't know. Let's call it 6 weeks ago. Pulled out a $20 bill. I said, here's the deal. We need to pick up dog poop in the backyard. Who wants it? And Joe was like, I'm on it. I need money because it's on fire when it gets into his hand. And I said, okay, one stipulation. You can go out there, pick up dog poop. If I come out there after you tell me that you're done and I can see more than 2 piles of dog poop, you get nothing. Yeah. And then Dan gets to go outside and pick up dog poop. And if I go out there and I see no dog poop, he gets your $20. And he was like, that's not fair. I go, I'm going to pay you for a job. We're going to do the job. You're going to do you're going to work at it, and I'm going to give you your $20. Dan is detailed about what he's doing. If he's going to do something, he'll sit down and do the whole. He's thorough. If he's putting away his clothes, all of his clothes get put away.
Yeah.
If Joe's putting away his clothes, half his clothes get put away, and then he gets bored with it, and then he takes all the rest of the clean clothes and throws them back in the laundry. Yeah. and then I want to murder him. So sure as shit, I said, dude, I'm telling you, you're not, if you don't do it right, you're not getting any. And he went out, picked up dog poop. He was out there for 10 minutes. And I've got half-acre yard, and I've got 4 dogs at my house right now. So there's a pretty significant amount of dog poop. So he comes back in. He's like, all done. He reaches, he grabs $20. And I go, whoa, I haven't even been outside yet. He was like, go ahead. And I walked outside.
Got it all.
I didn't even get to the yard. I was just on the patio, and I was like, give me my $20 back. And I go, Dan, you want $20? And he was like, on it. Runs out. I mean, it wasn't even, I'll bet you he didn't get half of the dog poop that was out there. And then he was all furious because his brother stole his money. His brother's smarter than him. Now, one scenario. Second scenario, 2 years ago, he's 11 years old. They want to run a lemonade stand because they want to make money. They're going to charge $1 a cup for lemonade. Love it. Love the entrepreneurial spirit. Joe is a leader. Joe is charismatic. Joe tells his cousins and Dan, you guys work the stand. We're back on a cul-de-sac. It's not a through street. Like, you have to, only the 8 houses behind us are who goes through there. I didn't pay hardly any attention. I went to the store, and on the way out of the store, Joe was at the top of the street with a sign flagging people into our neighborhood to sell them lemonade. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking smart.
They're driving quarter of a mile.
That's pretty smart. So I go to the store. I come back, I don't know, an hour later. My ex-wife is at the house. They're not home by themselves. And come back. I go inside. They're out there. I mean, they were out there grinding. They set up a pop-up tent. They're mixing up lemonade. They've got cups. They do all the deal. They're out there for maybe 3 hours. And nice day, and they come in, and they're pumped. And I'm like, guys, you guys are really, really good job. And like, that was so fun. We made a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. These fucking kids made $250 in 3 hours because Joe was out on the main through street just waving down cars and talking to people and sending them go down and sold the fuck out of some lemonade. And
that's
I was
genius.
Super pumped about it. He was super pumped about it, but that to him was fun. And he was willing to go all in, and he saw some of the money rolling in, and that was great. So those 4 kids chopped up $250 in cash.
His sign said, "Help my friend Johnny with his broken leg."
Yeah. Now, did you tell Joe that since he was the salesman, that he
deserves an extra commission?
Yeah. Was he do a little bit?
We haven't gotten there.
All
yet.
right.
We haven't gotten there
That's
yet.
just
But
me.
he did his part. But that world was great, and if he could have that enthusiasm about what he's doing, but I mean, it's hard to be enthusiastic about picking up dog poop or doing the dishes or doing whatever, but you got to be willing to do some shit that you want and some shit that you don't want.
Well, and I think the piece that resonates big with me and something that I'm trying to work on with the boys in my house is if you're going to do something, do it purposefully. Have some intentionality behind it. If you're going out there to pick up dog poop and you happen to stumble into 4 piles of dog poop and those are the 4 that you pick up, okay, I get that. However, maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe you can literally, like when I pick it up, I walk in a line. I walk this way, I take a couple of steps, I walk that way, I take a couple of steps. Because we got a big yard too, and it's like, okay, now I know that if maybe 1 pile has snuck past me, but he literally will walk out and he'll stumble into a couple, mash them into the grass, trying to pick them up, and then walk in and be like, this sucks. Picking up dog poop sucks. This dog scooper's broken. Like, what is happening right now? It's the same one I use every time.
I will say, if you let the dog poop sit there long enough, it all gets hard. It's easier to pick up.
I can't do it.
Sure.
So the last thing that I want to touch on is kind of how we are or are we preparing our kids for anything significant from a financial perspective. So for me, it's high school. And obviously, my oldest has an idea of where he wants to go. It's where I went to high school. It's not cheap. And so I don't want his mentality to be, well, mom and dad are paying for high school. And we've told him, like, you can contribute to this. You can contribute to you going to high school. It's with your grades. It's with, the being a part of the NJHS. It's like you are going to get scholarship money just by being a good student, and we're going to talk to the school to find out if there's anything else that you can, apply for. And if there is the way to apply, that is how you contribute. I will take care of the rest. Your mother will take care of the rest. But there are ways for you to offset that cost. Because once it comes to after high school, it's for you to figure out, bud. Like, I'm not paying for you to go to a 4-year university and major in keg stands. It's not going to happen.
Another episode.
But I want to give you the opportunity for a higher education, but you got to have some skin in the game.
So let me ask the two of you guys this. When do you think that you learned about the reality of money? How hard it is to make money or how hard it is to pay back money?
34 years old.
Okay.
Like, to be totally honest, I didn't go to college. So I joined the union when I was 17 years old and started pouring concrete and did that for a few years. I was making more money than I should have been making at 18, 19, 20 years old, and then went into an industry where I was, lucky enough to have a really great mentor and a guy named Russ Bryant. I'm sure you're not listening, but you should. Who taught me how to live in that corporate world and taught me how to be a driven, kind of a self-starter, and really had a lot of entrepreneurial spirit that he leaked onto me. And that is how I kind of started to understand money and understand the concept of money. But we didn't have any money growing up. So when I got a raise and I was making $75,000, I literally called my wife crying, thinking I won the lottery. I was like, we made it. And that my concept of finances and what it took to live as an adult was so jaded that I just didn't know until I started having kids and until I started realizing, like, they eat every day. I can go days without eating. They need to eat every day, and poop goes in places, and I have to pay for that too. Like, once that started happening, it's hard not to realize how real it is.
Yeah. How about you? When did money hit you?
I don't know. I mean, we already talked about, like, I was 5 years old and selling bags of acorns just to make money. I do think, though, that once we got to a point where, man, it's a tough question because even through high school, I knew it. I had a job for the first time when I was 16. I've done very, very well for myself, I would say, for jobs. So when I was 16, I got a job at a company here in St. Louis called Soccer Master that I was making way more than I should have for a 16-year-old. I started with Anheuser-Busch when I was 19, so that was awesome. Plus, I got 2 cases of free beer when I turned 21, so that paid off in a different way. So I've done pretty well at making sure that I had income, but I agree, though, that it wasn't until there was a house involved and a family involved that I realized exactly how much money was important and understanding how to distribute it the right way, right? So
yeah,
our kids are a long way from being there and being able to realize that.
I made a lot of money as a kid and as a high schooler and in college and waiting tables and bartending, and I was cash heavy, and I bought whatever I wanted to buy, and I was literally one day at any point in time from making $200, $300, $400. So I was never. It helped me and it hurt me because my view on money is I can make more of it. There's people that are willing to pay you money for lots and lots of other stuff. If I need money, I'll go get it. And the one time, when I say the one time, the first time that I got myself into a bad spot, I was 19 years old, and I learned a very my dad taught me a very hard, very good lesson that people still give him shit about to this day. For the first time, I'm in college and I'm playing volleyball, and I don't have time to work because I'm going to school, I'm traveling for volleyball, I'm in practice. I'm working out. And these wonderful, wonderful people met me on campus, and they said, hey, would you like to apply for a credit card?
Yes.
And I said, yeah.
Yikes.
Well, I'm only 19. No. You can apply for this credit card.
One of those
and
magical endless money cards.
So I apply for a credit card. I get awarded a credit card, and because of what my history was, that was on my work, how much I've made, they awarded me an $8,000 credit limit at 19 years old. I proceeded, and this is no fucking joke, I maxed that credit card out in 45 days. So now I have maxed out an $8,000 credit card.
All I gotta do is swipe.
And I had just a fantastic
solid month.
45 days.
Right, solid month.
So now I have realized I've maxed out this credit card, and they would like some money in return. And so I go to my parents and I go, hey, I fucked up. I go, what'd you do? And I go, I opened a credit card, and I spent some money on it. And they go, all right, how much you spend? I said $8,000. And my dad goes, how the fuck did you spend $8,000? And I
Very
go,
carefully.
a little bit here, a little bit there. And
Let me go ahead and just detail it for you.
so he goes, okay, what's your plan? And I go, the plan started 38 seconds ago when I said, Dad, Mom, I fucked up.
I did some shit.
And so my dad goes, okay, I think it's time for you to figure some shit out. And I said, all right, what do you think? He goes, your car is in your name. It's the only collateral that you have. You need to go to a bank and get a loan and pay that off. And I go, how do I do that? He goes, I guess you should figure it out. I mean, you were smart enough to open a credit card, and you make plenty of money, working at the restaurant, doing different stuff. So, I mean, figure it out. Fine. And I was anti-authority, and basically from when I was 17 until now, I never asked my parents for money ever, except for this particular instance because I was buried. So I go, all right. So I drove up to the bank that we banked at. I walked in, piss and vinegar, and hey, Mr. Banker, I need to apply for a loan. Okay, cool. I sit down, and the guy's like, all right, what are you trying to do? I said, I need, an $8,000 line of credit or loan. And he's like, okay, what do you do for a job? What do you have for collateral, whatever? And dude was like, dude, I can't give you $8,000.
I can give you money.
And I was,
you're broke.
Not gonna happen.
So that dude walks me out the door. I go to a second bank. That dude walks me out the door. So now I come back home. I'm like, hey, the bank won't give me money. And my dad goes, no shit. Can't believe it.
That's not how I expected that to go.
So he goes, what's your plan? I go, man, you keep asking me that. And I'm trying to figure it the fuck out. He goes, well, you can quit school, or you can quit volleyball and go to work, and you can make $8,000 in a month and a half, no problem with what you're doing at the bar. And so I go, I don't want to do that. I got to go to school, and I love playing volleyball, and they're paying half of my school for me playing. So he's like, okay. So he goes, your mom and I are going to loan you the money. We're going to pay it off for you.
Oh, but the juice.
And I go, all right, great. And I literally, big deep breath. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, I think 10% interest is fair. And he goes, you're going to pay 10% juice on it. And I go, all right. Well, at this point in time, I don't know about interest. I'm just learning that, the credit card's charging me 18 and a half. 10 sounds better than that. So he goes, but I'm not waiting around for this, and I need a little fire under your ass. He goes, I'm going to charge you 10% a month. And I go, 10% a month? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm not, this isn't a fucking charity here. And so he charged me 10% a month. I ended up paying it. It took me 4 months. I paid it off. And he was at me like literally first of each month. He'd knock on my door and be like, "Hey, you got my money?" I'm like, "I do have your money." And so went through this, and I paid it all off, and I haven't owed them money since, or anybody. I have a credit card, and I understand where I'm getting myself into problems and where I'm not. But that was a really hard situation, and some of my aunts and my uncles were like, "Roger, what the fuck? Like, I mean, you just put the fucking screws to them. 10% juice on a month," and I'm like, but it taught me something, and it sucked, and I thought he was a huge fucking dick for doing it, but I'll never forget.
No, those are important lessons. I think I want to be able to. So, Jay, you had asked like when did we learn about money? I want to be able to have my kids understand the pitfalls that like that kind of a pitfall before it hurts them. Because that's my fear, is that like I can remember Sarah and I had just bought a house. We were living there for like a year, maybe 2 years. And I, again, get a nickel, spend a dime. I went to a dealership. I drove a brand new car off the lot. I brought it home to surprise her, like she was going to go, "This is great." That was not the reaction.
It wasn't? Oh my
It
goodness.
was not great. We were broke, and I brought a brand new car home. 2 months later, 3 months later, that car disappeared from in front of our house. I told her it got stolen or towed because I parked in front of a fire hydrant. It got fucking repossessed because I didn't realize you're supposed to pay for those.
Oh, all right. Yeah. They
So like,
they want money in return for them.
You wouldn't even. I didn't know. Those are the types of things that like I literally didn't realize that if I just missed a couple payments, I didn't know somebody would come pick it up. I thought they would be like, "We're serious. We want our money."
No, seriously.
And then they would be like, "Oh, you can't pay? Well, what can you pay?"
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my understanding of money back then. And instead they were like, "We're going to take this shit back.
Yeah.
It's ours now.
This car is ours.
You pay us for what you owe, and your credit's all fucked."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was a thing. So like that's the type of shit that like I don't want my kids to be like, "Hey, Dad, I owe $8,000 because I went to this bar every day for 45 days and bought all my friends all the things."
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I got golf clubs. I got some other.
Oh, I'm
shit.
sure.
I
I'm sure of it.
I really did the deal.
Like, but that's the type of stuff when we talk about financial responsibility. It's not like here's a checking account, here's a bank account, here's a this. It's like, hey man, if you don't do things the right way, you could really screw up years of your life.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
that's I think in my mind that's why I think we wanted to talk about this of like, what is your plan? My plan is to just talk about money and to just be super, super brutally honest with my kids of like, here's what me and Mom have been through, and here's what we do to combat that.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is I'm trying to not scare them too much. Like I want them to have a healthy fear, but I'm a cheap bastard. Like there's no arguing that. Like I
can confirm.
I have an issue spending money on anything.
It's terrible.
But that has been imparted to some degree on my kids who are like, "But Dad, it costs this, but Dad, it costs that." I appreciate that, but I also don't want them to be worried about regular life expenses that just have to happen.
Right.
So
My last thing on this is I want them to feel some sort of sense of pride of buying something that they want, knowing they can afford it and doing it the right way. Because I know that I've had a lot of those scenarios of things that I'm like, that's the goal. I want that.
Yeah.
And instead of that being, here's the old credit card, and I'll figure it out later that they are mindful enough, responsible enough that they go, all right, I'm going to squirrel away $50 here and $100 there, and I'm going to do all the stuff I'm supposed to do, and I let that sit, and now I achieved. Now I can buy that and be super fucking pumped about it,
Right.
and not feel guilty, not feel stressed, not take away from anything else. And that took me a long time to figure out.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your first thing was that you saved? You knew it. You knew you wanted it. You saved up for it. You got enough for it, and you bought it.
Yep.
What was it?
My big screen TV in the basement when I built the stadium seating.
Okay.
That was the first thing. I was 20 years old, and we did not have cable in the house. I never had cable until I was 20 years old, and we had normal standard 28-inch tube TVs, whatever. And I wanted a big screen TV, and I wanted cable, and I saved money, squirreled it away, remember exactly where it was. Like, this wasn't in the checking or savings account. This putting cash in a drawer, and went into Goedeker Superstore, and I fucking bought. And
Not on Sunday, you didn't.
not on Sunday every day, but Sunday. But I watched, I shopped, and I bought a big screen, 52-inch, big, giant ass square box of a TV for $1,800, and put it in my basement. Built
It's like $300 today.
Yeah,
Right.
Built stadium seating and had cable installed in my house while my parents were in Germany for 2 weeks, and that was the first big deal. Like, I had saved up money for hockey sticks and rollerblades and different stuff, but that was the first real big deal that I was like, I fucking did something here. Yeah. And that was that one.
Adam?
I really didn't have. I kind of said it earlier. I didn't have this mentality of saving for anything. I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants. The biggest thing that I'm most probably proud of my patience and saving was I just bought a new truck recently.
It's literally parked outside right now.
It's parked outside right now, and
Pay cash for that?
I didn't pay
You
cash.
big baller? Good night.
But I put a significant down payment down on it, and I managed the payments in a way that I know that it's going to be paid off well in advance. And I drove a hunk of shit for a couple of years because I wanted that truck.
You literally kept trading in hunk for hunk for hunk for hunk
For years.
because you had somebody that worked at a dealership.
Yes.
So hunk for hunk for hunk, and then all of a sudden this
For
vehicle,
probably 3 years.
yeah.
So I had a Silverado.
I made fun of you plenty.
I know. I had a Silverado that I got rid of. It had almost 300,000 miles on it, or just over 300,000 miles on it. And when that died, I kind of told myself of I want a new truck. And I know I can't have it now because it's going to be an astronomical. And I just waited, and I saved, and I saved, and I saved. And we put ourselves in a position, we're lucky enough to be able to do it. But when I saw the truck that I wanted, I called my buddy, Mike Sinclair, and Rob Fulmer, who's an awesome dude who takes care of me. He's been selling to my family for a long time, and they took care of us. And I said, I want that truck. That's the truck I want. And so he's like, come up, and we made it work. And I'm just super excited. I don't buy nice things. I don't require much, but I wanted that truck.
You and I will talk the value of cash later, because we need to talk.
Okay.
But I'm proud of you for buying that truck.
Thanks,
that you
buddy.
want. That's awesome. How about you, buddy?
I feel bad because my story is way earlier and way less money, but
Was it a bag of acorns?
that contributed to it. It was my first communion. It was a whole bunch of things, but I was so proud Like I can literally close my eyes and remember walking into Children's Palace, no longer there. Children's Palace, buying a Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
For $220, whatever it was. Came with Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
You got the gun?
I did.
Yeah.
I bought that shit with my own money.
That's great.
And I could still just literally close my eyes and remember it. And it was it's not a truck. It's not nearly as exciting, but
it's pretty damn exciting, dude.
$220 at 12.
I was no. Well,
how old were you?
No,
First communion. You're probably 9 years old.
7 or 8.
7 or 8. $220 might be 20 fucking thousand.
That's a big deal, and I'm so excited about it. But,
anyway. All right. Well, in this episode, hopefully the people listening and watching can appreciate some of the bullshit that we go through, that everybody goes through, trying to manage your kids through money and through just the responsibility as a whole. But had fun with it. Learned a little bit. Great work, dude. I love seeing you.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Cheers. JJ, great work on the 1s and 2s as always.
Yep, I appreciate it.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or all the mediums, please give us a like, a 5-star like, and subscribe to the show. If you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications when new stuff comes up.
J-Bone, do we have merch yet?
Oh, yes, we do. Thanks for asking.
We got merch?
Yes.
I need some merch.
grownassdads.com. We got shirts. We got hats. So much more to come, but please take advantage of the opportunity right now to go out there and check out the merch. All your guys' purchases go right back into the show. We're looking to add some decor, some new technology, all that good stuff. So please, please, please check out the merch on grownassdads.com.
That's it.
All right.
We're out. Love you guys. See you.
Peace.
Grown Ass Dads, out.